Happy All Hallows Eve, my friends and serial viewers. It's finally October once again, which, as I'm sure you're all very aware, means I'm legally obligated to up the spook factor of the games we cover by at least 12%, which, it's kind of a thing anyway, so woo! Halloween, let's go! And I've got the perfect spooky game to share with you all this fine Oktoberfest. Behold the wonderment! Yes, thank you. No, thank you, but please, hold your applause until later. We've not even gotten to the game just yet. Tormented Souls is a survival horror game by Dual Effect and Abstract Digital that released only last year in the long-distant era of 2021. At the time, I'd heard great things about this game with a few of my favorite YouTubers, namely NitroRad and Avalanche Reviews, covering this tasty little slice of horror. But admittedly, I hadn't actually gotten around to playing the game just yet.
Shame.
So I decided to treat myself this Halloween and really get stuck into this amazing horror throwback to the series greats like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, which honestly feels like a very apt comparison. This game genuinely feels like the hellspawn of these two titans from one steamy night away from their loving license holders.
Stars.
Oh, and Konami. This game follows protagonist Caroline Walker as she receives a mysterious letter and photograph from the Wildsburger Hospital, which convinces/guilts her into paying this lovely little place a visit. Unfortunately for our protagonist, however, if she had read the fine print of this letter, she wouldn't have missed the clause that gives Wildburger staff permission to surgically remove one of her eyes. Yeah, don't skip those EULAs, guys. Seriously, they get you. The game plays much like its inspirational sources, sporting tank controls with fixed camera-like views that remind me a lot of Resident Evil Code Veronica, the camera panning to follow Caroline every so often for dramatic effect. You wake up in a private bathroom and quickly discover this hospital isn't at all what it appears to be at its surface. Unless you instantly peg this place as a nightmarish torture estate, because that's pretty much exactly what this is. They're churning out some Silent Hill terror monsters here, and woo, boy, these creatures are seriously great in design. I will admit one of Tortured Souls' only critiques or weaknesses is there isn't a ton of enemy variety, sadly, though I would say, in its defense, there is more monster variety on offer here than, say, Resident Evil 7, so, I can't be too harsh here. While you begin to encounter more and more of these monsters, you'll quickly find yourself low on resources and will need to be very careful with how you choose to deal with these threats. For example, do you try and knock them to the ground with your nail gun and finish them off with a couple of good crowbar swings to the head, at the risk of this thing lurching back up and haymakering you down and doing a massive amount of damage? Or burn those extra few shots to preserve your health. Healing items and ammo supplies were really well balanced in this game, honestly, so you never really feel like there's an always right answer to this question. It's always about, striking a careful balance here. Or, go with option 3, which is just run the hell away from it. What the hell even is that thing? Oh my god. Outside of its combat, though, Tormented Souls have some of the coolest puzzles I have ever worked through in video games, even trumping the games it takes its lineage from, in my opinion. Tormented Souls really saw what Resident Evil was doing with the whole inspecting objects and went, okay, that's cool, but what if we make these things like 200% more interactable? Some amazing little examples of this, while I try to carefully tread to avoid any kind of spoilers of the game, include having to remove the locked function of a floppy disk so you can rewrite data on it, solving a maze using knowledge of real-life star constellations, walking around an operating table with a lighter out to bring something back to life, completing puzzles in the past to impact your environment in the current time. And there are so many more of these, but again, avoiding spoilers makes it challenging to describe without giving things away to people wanting to experience this fantastic game, which I really need to stress you absolutely should do if you love survival horror. There were at least 4 puzzles in this that had me having to stop, think outside the box, turn to my partner and go, Hey, so wanna help me try and solve this esoteric puzzle with only vague hints?
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And when we finally found the solution, both of us were just going, holy shit, this game is really smart. That is so cool. There's even a completely secret little puzzle the game won't even tell you about on your first ever playthrough that will really help you with your future runs. Honestly, even if you aren't big on horror games, if you really enjoy escape room style experiences, I would wholeheartedly recommend you give this game a go just for these puzzles. Just make sure you keep that lighter on and nice and close. You really do not want to be in the dark in this game. The environments and music in Tormented Souls help to build up this palpable, eerie atmosphere, something I haven't experienced in the realms of modern video games in a very, very long time. This dark, abandoned hospital is really the main character of the story to me, with its weathered rooms and its menagerie of monsters skulking around, just waiting to attack you out of the dark. Something that really helps when navigating new areas is to just really take things slow. Listen out. You'll be able to hear the metallic scraping and thuds of threats hiding just outside a screen. For the most part, anyway. When you start to get deeper, things can just literally be standing there, waiting and twitching violently out of sight, for you to get just a little bit too close. And to really compound how threatening these things are, as if they needed any help, you physically cannot fight them in the pitch black. Without a light source, Caroline becomes completely incapable of defending herself, forcing you to run around these monsters and try and find some way to illuminate your environment. Whichever your approach, these things will be making a beeline for you the minute they hear or see you. Honestly, if you're going to give one game your attention this Halloween, please let it be Tormented Souls. This game is hauntingly beautiful, incredibly cerebral, and it has some very Resident Evil line reads that made me giggle on more than one occasion.
My child, you are pale. What happened to you?
A person in a wheelchair with knives in his hands was chasing me.
Well, that doesn't sound very knife of him.
This game is priced at an incredibly low $25 over on Steam. No doubt even cheaper for my viewers and friends in the US of A, but in keeping with the Halloween spirit, I've hidden a CD key for the game in this very video.
Dear God. There's more. No.
That's right. All you need to do to get a copy of the game for yourself is just watch this video. You're doing it right now as we speak. Keep an eye out for the 3 hidden snippets of the spooky CD key. Combine them and claim your game over on Steam. And with that said and done, I think that pretty much wraps up the episode here. So thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween. I have a couple more videos planned for Halloween, so I'm hoping to get those out before the, end of the spooky season. But for the time being, I must return to lurking outside of your field of vision. Oh, no, don't mind me. You won't even know I'm back here, don't you worry. Happy Halloween!